Hello and welcome to a new video. Now, I know we've been saying this for about 6 years in a row at this point, but it's not been a great start to the year, has it? Now, I won't belabor the point. I trust my audience to know when they do and don't want to subject themselves to what the world throws at them, but it has had a small effect here. When weighing up all of the many expansive, involved, heavy, complicated video ideas that I have planned, I looked at the list and thought, you know what? I just want to do something simple and light. And so here I am designing 22 illustrations, but it's not that bad. The idea for this video is that we'll be making pleasing minimalist illustrations based on the trump cards of the tarot deck. You know, the Fool, the Tower, the Hanged Man, etc. Now to add a little levity, these are going to have a pleasant animal theme, where each card will be represented by a different creature. Which creatures? Well, that's where this comes in. This is Crispy's patented generic randomizer, which I use to randomize all sorts of things, from which games to play on stream, to musical notes to write melodies, to, in this case, animals. We'll be randomly picking which animals go with which cards as we go along. And as a little bonus, if you're the sort who believes in divination, feel free to predict my future based on the order in which I draw the cards. I personally predict silliness, but that's less divination and more pattern recognition. Anyway, let's get cracking. Okay, let's generate our first card. We are gonna draw the Fool Gecko. I mean, that seems fair. I've personally never looked at a gecko and thought, that's a smart guy. That's a smart guy right there. They know what they're doing. And hey look, we've got the Fool first. That makes sense. Or 0th, I should say. It's Gek number O, I guess. So I will try to keep these simple, and sometimes I'll eschew the typical tarot illustrations for something more thematic, but here though I thought I'd just stick with the Rider-Waite format and have them running right over the edge. Here's a little gecko fact I remember from A-level chemistry. The effect that allow geckos to cling to smooth vertical surfaces by only a single toe isn't your typical chemical liquid stickiness, but rather Van der Waals forces caused by thousands of tiny hairs on the surface of the toe, so microscopically small that the purely atomic attraction is enough to collectively overcome gravity. In short, geckos have hairy little tootsies. Right, Fool Gecko down, we have next the Hermit Hedgehog. That makes perfect sense. Hedgehogs, they love living just underneath the hedge on their own. We'll ignore the fact that at the moment there is a family of hedgehogs living in my garden. That doesn't seem particularly hermetic, but hey, I can make it work. Okay, so some further research indicates that while a family are living in my garden, soon after the child can take care of itself, the family will just go their separate ways. So I'll consider that hermetic enough for my purposes. Also, here's some footage of them from a little night vision camera that we had set up, because to deprive you of that would be frankly cruel. Here's a fact about hedgehogs. They are incredibly cute at literally every time of day, except when they're right outside your window at night snuffling along the ground so hard that you can hear it through double glazing. Seriously, they're noisy, nosy little blighters. Okay, third up is... We've already had a Fool. Just go away, cat. Go away, Fool, cat. Okay, third up on the block, we have the Emperor Tortoise. Is that actually a tortoise? That sounds like an actual tortoise. You got the giant tortoise and the Emperor Tortoise. Wait, hang on, I'm thinking of penguins. Penguins and tortoises aren't the same thing, are they? Yeah. I have a PhD, you know. Did you know that tortoises are turtles? Yeah, it's one of those things, like how fruit are technically also vegetables. Anyway, for this one I just went with a regal old turtle on a mountaintop looking all emperor-y. I tried to imitate a crown-like motif with the clouds, and I'm not sure it worked. Also, I needed some goat skulls to fit the old Rider-Waite look, so now it's canon that this tortoise in particular eats goats. Tortoise fact. They don't eat goats, as far as I know. Slightly more interesting fact though, the oldest known tortoise died at an approximated 250 years old, and Waiter, as he was named, was believed to be born around 1750, the year Johann Sebastian Bach died, and died in 2006, the year Twitter was launched. Okay, card number 4, we have the Hierophant Frog. Sure. If there's one thing I say about frogs is that they're egotistical and above their station. They think far too much of themselves, the frogs. Look at that face. There's an ego behind that. An ego so big it can swell up the entire throat. Frog fact. Frogs are actually a type of toad. Yeah, it's one of those things. That's not true, I just made that up. But then again, the word frog was also just made up. There's no natural linguistic slide from the earlier Old English frosk into frog. But given that the same seems to have happened with dog, hog, and pig, I think it was just an affectionate thing to stick a G on the end. Like we do with Y's, you know? Doggy, kitty, froggy, goaty, sharky, tapewormy, that sort of thing. The etymology of Hierophant, however, is the combination of the Greek tahira, the holy, with phainen, to show. So it's showing the holy... I'm not sure we can do that on YouTube, so instead here's a frog with a lily crown. How wholesome. And for the 5th card, we have the Judgement Shark. That sounds absolutely terrifying. I don't know about you, if a shark comes up to me and starts judging me, I'm not gonna argue. I'm sticking to my guns here. I would not want to be judged by a shark, and neither would all the little fish hiding in the coral here. I did try to emulate the Rider-Waite card again, but instead of an angel with a trumpet, we have a shark, and instead of a bunch of naked people standing in coffins, we have some naked fish swimming in coral. It's close enough. Up until the 16th century, sharks were called sea dogs, a name I can't decide between being a vast underestimation of sharks or a vast overestimation of dogs. The word shark is actually believed to come from the Dutch schurk, sorry Chibi, meaning villain, as in loan shark, which this time I'm pretty certain comes off as quite unfair on the old sharks. Sorry, the new sharks. The wet ones, the ones that don't charge interest with hammers. Except those ones, of course. Bastard. Okay, card number 6, we have the star capybara. It's look into the eyes of the capybara, it's just an entire galaxy of stars. There's nothing else behind there, it's just stars. It's just no thoughts, head galaxy. I'll admit before doing this card I didn't really know much about the capybara, but apparently they are the largest rodent on Earth, a sentence which just makes me concerned about how big the ones on Mars are. While proficient swimmers, this one's just taking a tentative step in the water for a midnight splash. I'm choosing to name this capybara Kurloff, after a type of cell that's apparently only found in capybaras and guinea pigs. Why? I have no idea, but a lot of the sources that I looked into about capybaras really wanted you to know about these cells, but not tell you anything further. Best I can find is that they prevent damage to the trophoblast, which forms the outer layer of blastocysts. And no, I don't know what that means either, but it does give me a good idea for a follow-up to my Googology video. Right, number 7. Get a full rummy hand, we have the ferret lovers. Oh god, they're going to be twisting around each other a lot, aren't they? It's going to be like the snakes and the Hippocratic symbol. What's that called? It's going to be like that with ferrets, and it's going to be not safe for YouTube, that's for sure. So the idea of intertwining ferrets kind of overpowered any existing structures of the Lovers card, but I have tried to keep some of the theme here, with the entwined snake on the left and the fire on the right, but less of the angels and Eden and such. That said, earlier versions of this card were just 2 people getting married by a cleric, so it's not like I'm new in cocking up the formula. The word ferret is derived from ferretus, or little thief, which, I mean, look at that little face, it's got a domino mask and everything. They were domesticated about 2,500 years ago, largely to hunt rabbits. Genghis Khan was said to have deployed swathes of ferrets to completely rid a region in modern-day Afghanistan of wild rodents, and he apparently had so many children that everyone currently alive on Earth is probably related to him, which begs the question, did he learn it from the ferrets, or did they learn it from him? Hey, Crispy here from editing. That wasn't meant to sound as bad as it did. It was supposed to be a kind of light-hearted... I'm not implying that we're all the bastard children of a Mongolian emperor and a polecat. That's what I'm trying to get at. Right, number 8 is Justice Komodo Dragon. I think this is going to go with, like, Judgement Shark and Justice Komodo Dragon. This is just, like, the most intimidating pair of things that you could possibly encounter in the animal kingdom. The shark will judge you and the Komodo dragon will deal out justice, and there's nothing you can do about it. So while I can't find any explicit confirmation of an animal kingdom legal system dominated by Komodo dragons and sharks, I also haven't found anything roundly dismissing the notion. Western scientists only discovered Komodo dragons in 1910, so I'm sure there's still a lot to learn. Being the biggest lizards on Earth might sound like a good time, but given that part of their weaponry is a smorgasbord of infectious bacteria living in the mouth, inflicting sepsis on any given wound, plus the heightened sense of smell to make up for their deficient eyesight and hearing, I can only assume that they get through a lot of mints. But anyway, with this one I kept it simple, a nice nature scene, and I incorporated twigs and leaves into a kind of sword scales motif. It kind of works. It's no gecko though, is it? Okay, number 9 is the world sea lion. It's just an entire... People think it's on the back of a tortoise, but it's not. It's this giant sea lion just sort of swimming through the soup of the universe. You know, you got those classic pictures of Atlas just sort of shrugging over, standing, holding up on his back a giant sea lion. Well, you know what they say about sea lions? They wear a shiny skin and a funny hat. The almighty animal trainer lets it go at that. They bark ever so slow. Okay, so it's at this point in the video that I launch into singing a verse from the Jethro Tull song Sea Lion, which contains the words, "And you balance the world on the tip of your nose like a sea lion with a ball at the carnival," which I thought was so perfect for this drawing that I couldn't not do it. Should have guessed really, YouTube's copyright system kicks in and here I am having to talk over it. So all those animated veggies down there, waste of time. Recording and mixing the song, waste of time. Were it not for the fact that I actually really like this illustration, with the carnival placeholders for the animals around the edges and a cute simple sea lion, I'd probably be quite mad right now, but ho-hum, copyright's a bitch, what you gonna do? Or something like that. Right, number 10 is the sun woodlouse. Sure, something that sort of lives in the undergrowth, definitely associated with the sun. I guess they're circular? I guess we can work with that? That's kind of like what I expect if I look up in Britain and expect to see the sun, I see grey. So it works. It kind of works. Okay, I had a bit of a head start on this one, having designed a logo for a friend's homemade soap company, and in the process doodled a lot of stylized woodlice. This one absolutely just kicks the established symbology of the cards out the door, replacing it instead with a nice leafy motif. Tentative, yes, but how else would you get sunshine out of a burrowing insect? Woodlice, technically crustaceans, have many names around the world, including the aforeshown roly-poly, grumper pig, boat builder, cheese log, chiggy pig, granny grunter, hobbling Andrew, parson's pig, I take that one personally, dandy postman, monkey peas, and simply menace, which I think is a bit much. Coming in at number 11, we have Strength Aardvark. I think in a competition of nose strength between me and an aardvark, I think it'll be close going. I've trained quite hard for that, but I think the aardvark will just about win out. We're heading into the past for this card, focusing on the motif of holding together a broken pillar from the very early tarot decks. I'm not sure how much this friend is holding things together or causing it to fall apart, but they certainly don't look like it's their fault, regardless. They're trying their best. Aardvarks aren't the only animal to attempt to push themselves to the top of the dictionary, by the by, sharing a prefix with the aardwolf, a cute little mammal that also chows down on ants. Beyond the name and diet, they have little in common. However, ever since I was a kid, I thought it was a shame that people had heard of the aardvark, but not the aardwolf. So look at them! They deserve attention! Look at those eyes! Ah! Okay, it looks like I probably need a little bit of a break from this. Rest assured, with 11 cards down, there are but 11 to go. And if you want to hear reactions to the random generator that sound akin to this, pitch in. Incredibly stupid idea. Oh god, I can't make a joke out of this. Then tune in soon for some more little animal doodles. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you to my patrons who make this all possible and who have been seeing out of context sneak peeks of this for the past couple of weeks. They're also getting an exclusive comic about my ghost-only Pokemon playthrough, as well as some hand-printed inscription cards being sent out soon. For now though, I'll bid you good fortune and a frankly divine time. Thank you very much for watching, look after yourselves, goodbye. I trust my audience to know when they do and don't want to subject themselves to what the world... I trust you all to do that, and there's nothing you can do about it.